A boy walks into a fancy home to steal and sees this intubated older man. What happens next will make you weep. Let's do something today. The friends were worried, but Marcelo had nothing else in mind but his mother lying in bed with a bad backache after the accident. So he answered, "I can't. I have to collect cardboard boxes to buy medicine for my mother." "Hey, cardboards, let's make you some easy money. What do you say? Shall we put him on the team?" Everyone's response was to agree. Have easy money? What do they mean by that? Come here at 9 o'clock tonight and you're gonna see that you won't regret it. There are days when we make over $5,000 in just a few minutes, replied the friend. Marcelo went home worried. He had never heard about earning easy money, as he had seen his little mother work tirelessly day and night so they could have food on the table. And on top of that, it was often not enough for their fare to school, so he had to walk. While thinking, he arrived home and saw his mother lying in pain. He quickly prepared a delicious bean stew. He sat her down at the foot of the bed, enjoyed watching her eat, and then went back to watch his favorite movie. "Come and lie down with me," she told him. But Marcelo had his mind occupied with those $5,000 he could earn. That's why, not being able to do it anymore, he quickly got ready and told his mother that he would make a lot of money working that night. His mother was a little worried, but didn't have time to tell him anything because her son had left the house very quickly. When Marcelo arrived at the corner where his friends always were, he was shocked when he saw them all dressed in black. "Hey guys, what are you doing dressed like that?" There was no time for him to go home and change, so they gave him a mask and a hoodie. They all did the same and said, "Here's the plan. We're going to go to a very luxurious house in the hills. Marcelo, you're the smallest. You'll get in through the roof with this ladder that we will bring in, and then you'll open the door for us. The lights in that house are always off. They appear to be on vacation or live in another country." Marcelo could not believe what he was about to do. He was not a thief, but getting money to help his mother was what he wanted most. That is why he followed the plan to the letter. He climbed up the house's roof, jumped into the garden, and opened the door for the others. Despite having tools to break the lock, he did not do it because the door had no key and was completely open, which was very strange, the others commented, but when they saw inside, they imagined the treasures they could find. It was a glamorous mansion. As they entered, they began to put things in the bags they were carrying. Watches, silverware, heirlooms, everything in their path. Finding themselves then on the second floor, they entered the main room, which was open. With their lanterns, they began to see everything they could steal, but at that moment, they heard a tired voice with very agitated breathing. "Who's there?" They quickly illuminated the bed and saw an older man lying in an extraordinary bed full of tubes and oxygen tanks. It looked like a hospital bed. He was a patient who could not move because those wires attached to his body did not allow him to do so. It was a sad sight to see an older man in that situation, asking for nothing to be done to him. Sadness and remorse completely invaded Marcelo, who began to cry as he came to his senses and saw what he was doing, becoming a vulgar and dirty thief. That man woke him up and made him compassionate. He dropped his sack and said, "I can't do this anymore." His friends told him, "What? Are you crazy? We just put this old man to sleep by putting a pillow on his head and that's it." Still, Marcelo stood in front of them and told them not to take another step because he was ready to do anything to defend the older man. His friends started calling him stupid and saying rude things, but he stuck to what was right, saying that he would not allow them to touch him. So they rushed at him and threw him to the ground, kicking him until he lost consciousness. Once unresponsive, everyone became terrified, thinking they had killed him. They quickly grabbed everything they could and escaped from the house, leaving Marcelo lying on the floor and the frightened older man in his bed. "Are you all right?" the old man asked, but Marcelo did not answer. After an hour, he reacted and went down on his knees in tears, begging for forgiveness for the severe offense he had committed. "I will turn myself in and tell the whole truth," he said. But the older man took his hand and told him not to do so, for the others might harm him if he gave them away. "I forgive you. You are different and a good boy, but you mustn't get carried away by bad friends. Even if your family needs money, working hard is always better and much more satisfying. Marcelo, very astonished, wanted to know more about the man, so the old man answered, "My name is Don Malcolm. I'm 75 years old and suffer from MS. I lived long enough to tell what's wrong just by saying a few words, and I also see that you are a good boy sent to my house like an angel from God. I am starving. My children live abroad and have forgotten about me. They hired 2 nurses, but did whatever they wanted. They stole jewelry from the house and never returned." Marcelo prepared a rich supper with the old man's things and fed him. The old man said, "In your reaction, and for being an angel sent by God, I will reward you. You see that picture over there? Well, take it out. I have a great fortune there. You'll find a safe. The key is 1978. Take out what you need, take your mother to the hospital, and then come back. I will give you and your mother a job. The keys are in that coat." Marcelo left the house in tears, grateful to the man. He then took his mother to the hospital and told her the whole story. She, though disappointed, hugged her son for having such a good heart. Marcelo ran to groom the older man, prepare his food, buy medicine, and feed him. Before long, his mother recovered from the pain in her back and then visited the older man. She became good friends with him, and he offered her a job. Marcelo went back to school to finish his studies. They had to live in that house and care for the old man. Malcolm and his mother's affection for him was great. They took him out for walks and fulfilled his every wish. One day, Malcolm sent Marcelo to call a man with a strange surname and a dark complexion, who met with the older man. After a couple of hours, the man left, and a few days later, Malcolm called Marcelo and his mother. He told him that he had no more strength to continue and only a few minutes left. He thanked them for giving him the happiest last months of his life, took their hands, and told them that they were indeed angels. Marcelo and his mother began to weep, for the older man was very good to them, and they mourned his departure. After the burial, the foreigner's children arrived for the inheritance. Marcelo and his mother were with their suitcases, ready to leave, but the dark man with the strange surname came and told everyone to sit down, even Marcelo and his mother. He said he was the lawyer then, and he read the will. The children inherited the businesses and the money in the bank. However, Marcelo and his mother got the mansion and everything inside, including the jewelry, cars, and paintings. The children inherited the businesses and the money in the bank. The children were somewhat upset, but didn't care because the money they had from the companies and the accounts was enough to last the rest of their lives. Marcelo showed his mother the box, and when he took it out, he put in the key, and she was surprised with all the money in it. When they finished counting, there was nothing less than $5 million, and jewelry they didn't know how much it was worth. They were grateful to Malcolm and hoped his soul would be in peace. Then, using the inheritance, they built several restaurants and managed to multiply the fortune. That's how this story comes to an end. Hey friends, tell me what you think. Never forget to do the right thing and you will be rewarded. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell to receive more content every week. See you in a future video.